Good afternoon, everyone. What a wonderful day we have got. Genuinely feels like summer. I want to talk about rematch clauses because a lot of people talk about rematch clauses as like a bad thing, a negative. I'm not a fan of rematch clauses. You know, I don't think rematch clauses should be written in, and they're often thrown about. It's often levelled at opponents, isn't it? When he wanted a rematch clause written in, he's not confident. Well, he wanted a rematch clause, I didn't. You know, I wasn't bothered about a rematch clause. A lot of negativity is thrown on rematch clauses, but I just want to give a perspective on rematch clauses. If you're a fighter, especially a top level fighter, a marquee fighter, an elite level fighter, world champion. I mean, let's take say, if you was a Lennox Lewis, you know, look at Lennox Lewis's defeats, Hasim Rahman and Oliver McCall. He always knew he'd overturn them. Now, I don't know if rematch clauses were really a thing back then, but, you know, or a Bivol or a Beterbiev. I'm not sure if any rematch clauses are written into either of their fights. The gentlemen that they are, sorry, terrible bit of road. The gentlemen that they are, sort of, they would honour, fighters honour and give a rematch anyway. But with the nefarious judging decisions and situations we've had, the way that a fight can end with a freakish result, an injury, or a contested cut, or there are many different ways in which a fight can be ended unsatisfactory, shall we say. Now, to me, if you're a fighter, look at it like car insurance. If car insurance wasn't mandatory, I'd still have it, because I would want a little bit of insurance in place, a fail-safe for in the event of something unfortunate happen, i.e. someone hits me, you know, I've got that insurance in place. I can recoup some losses and hopefully get the situation in my car sorted out. You know, a professional boxing career is about maximising return, and maximising your return, part of that is longevity of your career, getting favourable results. Now, if you're a top level fighter, to me it's bad business. If you can get a rematch clause written into the contract, I would fucking grab it every day of the week. I'm going to want a rematch clause, not because I'm not confident, but because, and even if I get beaten soundly, I want an opportunity, if I can get one, to have another go, maybe reclaim my titles back, maybe repair my reputation. To not have a rematch clause written in and not cover myself a little bit and give myself an opportunity to get that win back, and if the loss is contestable, debatable, controversial, and then the person I lost to doesn't give me a return, to not having had a rematch clause in place is just a little bit of stupidity. To me, it's common sense. Why wouldn't you want a return fight written in? If you can get it, I'm taking that all day long. If I'm offered a rematch clause and I say no, well, that just makes no sense whatsoever from a business perspective, from a career perspective, from a monetary perspective. You look at the likes of Bivol Beterbiev, 300 and something thousand pay-per-view buys that did. Now, can you imagine having a contract written in for a return again, a third fight, or not having it written in? And say you don't have two guys with the honour of those two, the other fighter doesn't give you the return, but you could have guaranteed one for a rematch clause. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? If you're a fighter, to me it's obvious, common sense. Of course I'd want a rematch clause written in. So I just don't get all the negativity when it comes to rematch clauses. If I'm a fighter, I'm a professional fighter, I'm a prize fighter, I want to maximise my career, maximise my return. To not have a rematch clause written in, and then just in terms of legacy, you lose a disputable decision. I mean, none of you guys can pick out disputable decisions over history. Now, let's say one of them becomes almost a defining point in your career. You were being considered an all-time great, but you had a loss against a certain guy. That would devalue your career a little bit. It just would. Boxing is subjective. A lot of people would see it as, well, you lost. A lot of people would see it as, well, he should have had that. You know, that was a rip-off. That was a mug job. You know, a robbery. So, a rematch clause. Why wouldn't I want one? Why wouldn't a fighter want one? Why wouldn't you want a rematch clause? You'd want one every day of the week, for me. I don't know. What do you think? If you was a fighter, if you was a professional fighter, and your team said to you, we're going to try and have a rematch clause written in, would you on principle say no? No, I'm not a fan of rematch clauses, don't want it. Then you're mad. You're mad. Rematch clause every day of the week. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? Anyway, I'll see you all soon.